24,000 people die every single day from hunger and hunger-related diseases, at least 24,000. And that doesn't need to happen. We have plenty of resources, so that shouldn't happen. It happens because of the system we've created. We can say without a doubt that this system is an absolute failure. From the most rational, objective economic standpoint, it's a failure. Less than 5% of the world's population live in the United States. We are consuming over 25% of the world's resources and creating roughly 30% of its major pollution. That's a failure.
Let me give you just one statistic, which I worked out in minutes, because otherwise it's incomprehensible. Sub-Saharan Africa, which is the poorest part of the world, is paying $25,000 every minute to northern creditors. Well, you could build a lot of schools, a lot of hospitals, you could make a lot of job creation if you were using $25,000 a minute differently from debt repayment. So there's this drain, and I think people don't understand that it is actually the South that is financing the North. If you look at the flows of money from north to south and then from south to north, what you find is that the South is financing the North to the tune of about $200 billion every year.
Our chosen economic system always was and still is financed by the poor. They did so first by giving up their land and their access to natural resources, then by financing its expansion through debt repayment, unfair trade, and unjust taxes on their labor and consumption. In addition, by forcing the poor to overpay for energy, food, and other basic necessities, the North ensures that poverty will deepen and inequalities will increase.
We will identify a country, usually a developing country, that has resources we covet, our corporations covet, like oil. And then we arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sister organizations. Now, most everybody in our country believes that that loan is going to help poor people. It isn't. Most of the money never goes to the country. In fact, it goes to our own corporations. It goes to the Bechtels and the Halliburtons and the ones we all hear about, usually led by engineering firms, but a lot of other companies are brought in. And they make fortunes off building big infrastructure projects in that country. Power plants, industrial parks, ports, those types of things. The country's left holding this huge debt that it can't possibly repay. So at some point, we economic hitmen go back in and we say, you know, you can't pay your debts. You owe us a pound of flesh. You owe us a big favor. So sell your oil real cheap to our oil companies, or vote with us on the next critical United Nations vote.
Je pense qu'il y a une date qui est tout à fait clé, c'est 1492, quand, à partir de cette année-là, les Européens interviennent d'une manière tout à fait brutale dans l'histoire des peuples de ce qu'on appelle aujourd'hui les Amériques. À partir de ce moment-là, on peut parler d'une globalisation, d'une mondialisation, parce que à peu près l'ensemble des continents de la planète au cours du XVIe siècle sont connectés les uns aux autres et de manière brutale avec une domination européenne qui va progressivement s'étendre ensuite vers l'Asie et vers l'Afrique.